Hello, how are you doing? I am so excited to talk to you about why you should become fluent in English. Maybe you've thought about why you want to become fluent in the English language. Maybe you haven't thought much about it. Maybe you've just been studying because it's something that you're required to do or you think that you should do, but maybe you haven't thought much about it. Well, if you have or haven't, either way, this episode of Go Natural English is going to present some ideas that are probably new. You probably haven't thought about. And so I'm going to share with you my reasons why I think English fluency is the best thing that you can do for yourself. All right, so I made a lot of notes, so I'll be looking over at them while I talk to you. So a lot of people talk about why you should become fluent, and I think there's some basic reasons that you probably already know. I'm going to say these and you're going to think, duh, yeah, I know that. So, for example, freedom of communication, right? English is the language of the internet, the language of science, medicine, technology, travel. You can find out a lot of information in English, as opposed to perhaps if your native language is not as widely used as English. So also English can give you a lot of opportunities to travel abroad, to study abroad. When you travel, right, you might want to use English to communicate with people who speak other languages. Maybe English is their native language, maybe it's not. Did you know that there's more people in the world that speak English as a second language, or third or fourth or fifth, than people who speak it as their native language? I just think that's a fascinating fact. So English is really the language that we use to connect with each other internationally. So if you want to travel the world and work abroad or study abroad or meet people from different countries, English is the best way to be able to do that. I was lucky that I was born into an English-speaking family in an English-speaking country, so I have English, but I've worked really hard to become fluent in Spanish, Portuguese. I can speak some French and Japanese, so I know what it's like to learn another language. Also, English, of course, is really helpful for your career. Most careers will benefit from speaking English. If you work with international colleagues, if you have to travel for work, if you have to do research for work, if you're selling things to people in different countries or doing marketing, I mean, I could go on and on and on. If you work in tourism of any kind, if you work in a hotel, restaurant, giving tours or anything like that, really your career is going to benefit from English. Think about if you want to go to a conference overseas, you're going to benefit from knowing English. Okay, so all of these things so far, you're probably thinking, okay, Gabby, I've already thought of that. Really, what's new? Well, I'm going to share some of my not so obvious reasons for becoming fluent in English. And before I do that, I want to talk to you about levels of fluency in English, because I think that fluency in English means that you can do what you want to do in English. So if you want to order a coffee, for example, I just got a coffee myself, so that was the first thing I thought of. I ordered my coffee in English because I'm here in Bangkok, actually, and I don't speak enough Thai to order my coffee in Thai. But I did learn how to say hello and thank you. But anyway, I said, could I please have a coffee? So could I please have a coffee? What is that, 5, 6 words? Well, for that moment, I was fluent in English. I did exactly what I wanted to do. But I wouldn't say that I was speaking advanced English. I wouldn't say that I mastered English with 6 words. So I want to encourage you to master English fluency, because mastery leads to true freedom. Mastery leads to true freedom. When you master the English language and you're able to communicate more complex ideas and express yourself and your opinions in most or any situation, that will give you freedom. Okay, Low fluency, for example, only knowing the 6 words necessary to order a coffee, will mean that you miss out on a lot in life. If you're around other English speakers and they're having a conversation, you're going to miss out on what they're talking about. You're going to miss out on the meaning. This happened to me 10 years ago. I was traveling in Brazil for the first time and I knew a lot of Spanish. I was pretty fluent in Spanish, but my Portuguese was very, very basic. And I pretended that I understood a lot of conversation, but honestly, I didn't. I barely understood what people were talking about. So I knew that I was missing out, and actually that motivated me to become more fluent in Portuguese. So, you know, if you're feeling like you're missing out on a lot of the English happening around you, maybe in conversations, maybe on TV or in movies or on the news, that should motivate you to keep going and to master English fluency. Don't let it stop you, but use it as a fire to keep learning. So when you have a low fluency level in English, you're going to misunderstand. You might think people are talking about one topic, but they're actually talking about another. Or you might think that their opinion is one thing, but it's actually something completely different. So you might miss the point. Now, this is really dangerous in work situations and social situations too. For example, if someone is giving you orders that you need to complete, they're asking you for a favor, or asking you to do something, or if they're sharing their opinion with you, well, you want to understand their point of view. And if you misunderstand, or if you pretend to understand like I did, you can really get yourself in trouble. So you want to work on your fluency so that doesn't happen. Some people won't be patient with you when you have a low fluency level, especially if they speak your native language. They'll probably just try to switch to your native language instead of waiting for slow English. This might sound harsh. I'm a very patient person, I think, but even I will get a little bit impatient, you know, if I have to wait a long time or if I have to ask several times, you know, I'm sorry, I didn't understand. So I just want you to know that with low fluency, you're gonna lose friends. I'm sorry that sounds really harsh, but you're gonna lose opportunities to talk to people who may not have the patience. Now, maybe you don't want to talk to those people anyway because maybe they're mean or, you know, they don't have enough patience and you want someone who's nice with a lot of patience. But even nice people, very patient people, may feel like it's difficult to talk with you if you have a low fluency level, because it takes more time and effort to understand and to hold a conversation with you. So really work on your fluency so that your friends or your future friends will be able to speak with you with confidence, okay? With confidence and with good energy, going back and forth at a good pace. Now, it's okay if you start out slow. We all start out slow in a second language, but this should be motivation to keep building your English skills and to speak at not a fast pace necessarily, but a normal pace, not so slow that people lose patience. Okay, I'm just being honest. I don't mean to, you know, be mean, but it's the truth. I don't want to lie to you. I want to be completely honest and motivate you to get really fluent in English. Okay, also, if your English is low, if it's a low fluency level, you have a low level of English, you might feel bad about it. It might lead to a lack of confidence, and you might feel like you have a lack of options and less independence than if you have a mastery of the English language. So here at Go Natural English, I primarily help intermediate English learners reach advanced fluency. And that's why I think that you should really work on advanced fluency, because I see the difference that it makes for my learners in Go Natural English premium courses. So really work on your advanced fluency, because if you have a low level of fluency, you're going to be depending on other people to give you information, depending on other people to be patient with you, depending on other people to break down their message and information so that there's no misunderstandings. Okay, so when you have a high level of English fluency, it's going to give you more freedom and more independence, meaning you don't have to wait for other people or hope that other people will help you. Okay, so if you want to be an independent person, and if you want to help other people, maybe you have friends who are learning English and their fluency level isn't as high as yours, well, then your mastery will help other people. And isn't that what we want to do? We want to help each other. Now, knowledge comes from English. It comes from being able to research in English, talk to people in English, connect with new people, network, find out information. And English is an excellent tool to do that. So, of course, you need many things. You need people to talk to, you need the internet, you need materials like books, documentaries, but English is a really big tool to be able to grow your knowledge and educate yourself. And knowledge equals power. When you have information, you have the power to make informed decisions, and that will change your life. So English is life-changing. Having a high level of fluent English will give you knowledge, power, freedom, independence. In my book, these are all good things. These are things that I highly value. Now, when you speak English fluently, you'll be able to speak with anyone else who speaks English confidently. Now, I know how hard it is in a social situation to speak a second language. But when you have that fluency level, then you don't have to worry about, oh, is my English good enough or not? You just go out there and you start talking to people. Also, it allows you to be more independent and more helpful to other people who may or may not speak English as well as you. All right, so think of English as a tool for independence, freedom, knowledge, and power. English is a tool for unlimited growth. I've mentioned a few different ways that you can use English to grow and develop your life, develop personally, professionally. English is not just a tool for your career or your social life. I mean, those are huge things, but English itself is actually a workout for your brain. I don't know if you know, but there's several articles. I just read one, I think it was in the New York Times, that talked about how knowing a second language, learning a second language, actually keeps your brain strong. And so as you age, you are more likely to keep your brain healthy if you know a second language. And of course, I think, one of my worst nightmares would be to not have my brain power, because that really runs your life, right? You want to have your brain power. So English is a great workout for your brain. I believe in working out your body and your brain. So as you learn English, it stimulates your brain. So just that on its own, even if you never speak English, just, learning English, playing with it, practicing it will help your brain. But of course I want you to speak too, because speaking English will develop your confidence. Being able to express yourself and have other people understand and like what you're saying, agree with what you're saying, or maybe challenge you and, offer some food for thought. This is a thing that can develop your confidence, being able to interact with people, communicate, connect. Okay, you can learn from a lot of resources that are only available in English. I remember one of my students who speaks Arabic told me that when he was looking for information online, for example, in Wikipedia or other sites, the Arabic information was very small, but the information in English was very big. So if you want information, learn English. Okay? I'm not saying this is fair, I'm not saying it's right, but it's the truth. Now you can connect with your kind of people anywhere in the world. So not only can you use English as a tool to get information, but you can use English as a tool to connect with the right people. People who have similar values as you, people who do the same job or have the same profession as you. Maybe if you want to learn about a new career, you can reach out to those people. You can find people who enjoy the same hobbies as you. I've met a lot of people online who enjoy travel like I do, and we communicate in English. So I think community is one of the most important parts of life. Nurturing a community of people that you respect, admire, and love makes your life wonderful and beautiful, no matter where you are in the world. But you need tools to do that. You need to communicate to do that. And English can help you to find your kind of people, especially if you are from a small town, a small city where you feel like you don't belong. If you feel a little out of place, use English as a tool to find people like you who understand you. And trust me, it's a good feeling to be understood. Not only in English, but your personality, your values, everything. So one last thing about English that I love is that my learners have told me time and time again, Gabby, when I speak English, I feel like a new person. I can create the personality that I want. It's like I'm reinventing myself. I can become a new person. I can turn over a new leaf. I can start from scratch, a blank slate. And when I speak English, I'm speaking to new people. I'm using new words, new phrases, different body language. And so you get to choose how you express yourself in English and what kind of person you want to be in English. So if you've ever felt like you want to start over or you want to change something in your life, English is a great opportunity to do that. And English, just like it's a tool to find out more information about the world around us, around you, it's also an excellent tool to share your voice with the world. I believe that you are unique and awesome, and you have an important story to share with the world. And I want you to use English to do that. I don't want you to keep your story inside just for people who speak your language. I mean, please use your language to share your story too. Don't get me wrong. That's great. But English is a great tool. It's a very useful tool for getting your opinion, your voice, your story out into the world. So please use it as a tool for that, for your freedom, your independence, for your knowledge, for your power to connect with your community, to be confident, and to share your voice with the world. So those are some reasons why I think that you should learn English to a very high fluent level. Not just basic English, not just intermediate English, but advanced English. If you agree, then please like, comment, share. If you disagree, let me know what you think. Subscribe to Go Natural English on YouTube and the podcast to learn more about English language learning. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm really honored to be able to speak with you, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. All right, and oh, one last thing I almost forgot. You can come to gonaturalenglish.com/7steps to learn the Go Natural English method for English fluency, which is very important for this episode. And it's a free course of 7 videos that share the 7 steps to fluency with me at Go Natural English. All right, I'll see you there. Bye for now.